Bruce's Big Call Dinar Intel Tuesday night August 15, 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Welcome everybody to the big call tonight. It is, let's say, is it Thursday, August 15th? You believe we're halfway through the month of August in a few hours? That's amazing to me. Time has flown by so fast. Here recently. Okay? So welcome everybody to the big call. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging in there with us. And I've got lots to share. I hope I remember all of it, because I've got a lot of stuff. And I'll say now, if you don't have a pad of paper, get a decent pad of paper and a nice writing pen. Because you're going to want to jot this stuff down, alright? A lot of different things. I hope I remember them all. Alright, it's about straight up, probably 10 o'clock on the East Coast, yep. So let's do this. Let's ask everybody again to get a legal pad if you have a big pad of paper and a good writing pen. Because there's several things I'm going to talk about that I'd like you to write down. Because I think it's going to be important to retrieve some of this and just go over it in your mind. Alright, I got a lot of stuff, so I'm trying to bring it all out. Sometimes Jeannie helps me by prompting a praise report or a prayer request to remember everything I need to talk about. Let's first start talking about restitution and reclamation allowance. And I abbreviated that, as you guys know, to R&R. I've got some new information about it again today. The R&R is the money that we're going to get back from them, trading our birth certificate, any marriage license that we had, any divorce decree that we may have had, and any death certificate that we might have had that would affect us. It could be parents, it could be spouse, whatever. There are 4 areas that were traded as bonds, and we're going to get the money that they earned back. Now, the other thing as part R&R is we're going to get the interest that paid on home mortgages, on credit cards, on any bank loans that we might have taken out. Like for a car or a boat or whatever. Now any of that is all refundable to us. So they've amalgamated this amount. And for some of the older folks, Bob's not quite in that category. I'm getting there. Some of us know people in their 70s and 80s and so on, that will get a pretty big chunk. It'll be a big chunk. Now here's the thing, it's going to be different for people that are in the currencies like we are, and in the ZIM, especially for those of us who have ZIM that are going in to exchange our currencies and redeem our ZIM. We will get our R&R put into our quantum accounts within the quantum financial system, our quantum account. Now, they should tell us that and tell us how much it's going to be before we take our total from exchanges and ZIM redemption and add it to that amount that's in the quantum account. And then another piece to write down is, when it comes to the quantum account, a quantum access card. Let's call it a quantum card that is 3 times thicker than a credit card and it has 3 chips in it. Well, no, it's got probably more. But the quantum card is not something we carry around with us. It's something that we have and we put it in a very safe place where you live. You got to find a safe place to store this card. And you only use it when moving funds from your quantum account into your primary or secondary banks. Okay, so it's from one-way withdrawal, if you will, from your quantum account into your banks, whether it's Wells Fargo, whether it's Chase, whether it's Bank America or what, you can move it, as I understand it, into accounts in 3 different banks. So whatever your top 3 banks are that you plan to use, you should be able to use the quantum access card to move funds into that. And that's the only reason you use it. You don't charge anything on it. You don't carry it around and spend. You don't go to restaurants. None of that. This is not a credit debit card. No, this is only for moving funds from your quantum account. Guess what? You don't ever know this card. It's way too valuable. Alright, now let's talk about access to your quantum account. So you and I that have ZIM, we will get an amount from our R&R deposit that will go into our quantum account. And hopefully we find out how much that is before they throw the proceeds from our currencies and our ZIM redemption in the mix. Okay, we got to find out what it is before we add the other to it. Now here's the other thing, to access your quantum account. They'll probably use a biometric fingerprint or thumbprint reader, where you're going to have a username. Write that down. Biometric finger or thumbprint, username. That's the second thing you need, and you'll need a password, so you're going to need to write that down. And write down all passwords and all of this stuff. Redemption Center when you get this, okay, because you're gonna have to construct that password when you get in there. Also, there's 5 out of 5 aspects. 1. Biometric fingerprint. 2. Your username. 3. Your password. 4. A 5-digit number that can be ascribed to you as an ID number. 5 digits. Okay. And the last thing would be an email address. All 5 of those need to be entered, my understanding to be entered to access your Quantum accounts. Remember, the Quantum account is essentially held in the Quantum financial system computers and essentially backed by the US Treasury, the new US Treasury. Alright, so hopefully you wrote down those 5 steps. I'll go over them in case you got a biometric fingerprint, whichever is username, password, 5-digit ID number that is ID to you and your email. And by the way, if you need to create which, I think you might have to create a new email for this. If you do create a new one, Gmail is a safe method of email. Now it's over the last year or 2 instance shown to be very safe. So your preference on that? Alright, you've got that down. Now we know when the R&R is going to happen for us that are exchanging. What about non-exchange? Non-exchange. Remember this R&R is receivable for anyone 28 years of age and older. That's a US citizen. What if you're a green card holder? You're a green card holder. You need to have your green card at least 18 months to receive your R&R 18-month minimum. Okay, so we're assuming that you're a citizen or you have a green card that makes you eligible. Let's say you're younger. Let's say you're 50 or 55. Okay, you still will get that, but since you're not exchanging currency, you're going to have it direct deposited into your bank account, your existing bank account. You're too young to Social Security, so they don't have your Social Security bank account, but they have a bank account. They know what your bank account is by the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. Which we all had to use a Social Security number to open a bank account. They have that, well, they'll do a direct deposit. And I believe it's going to start. Doesn't mean it'll all happen, but it'll start on Monday the 19th, which is this Monday the 19th of August. And it could take up to 7 days for that R&R deposit to show up. How are you going to know when it's in there? When you get a notification from that you have a deposit, either it's going to be an online notification, an email, or it could even be a phone call. In some cases, email, phone call, or an online notification that you had a deposit. And guess what? Guys, for the older folks, it's going to be substantial, both in their 30s and 50s. It'll still be a good deposit. The idea of it paying out over 2 years, 3 years, I think all of that went away. But if you're younger, I remember this, if you're under 35, I believe you're going to sign something. That says you won't quit your current job for at least 10 years, or you'll stay employed at least 30 hours a week. 30 hours is considered part-time, so at least 30 hours a week, or at least 10 years, okay. Retirement age 60, 60 seconds, 65, considered maybe you retired, maybe you're still working, maybe you're not. I know guys that are 83 years old still go into the office, are still working, and they don't really want to retire, because when a lot of people are older and they retire, they die. There's just no motivation to go on. They die. Or they play golf, they've had enough golf, and then they die. So we don't want anybody that's older to die. We want to get them into a med bed and get their youth restored, and that's what we're all about doing. Alright, let's see. I covered R&R Quantum card about the needs that is Monday. So what we're hearing is that the Nosara Gesera is supposed to be announced starting the 19th of August. That's this coming Monday, Nosara and Gesera be announced. We're hearing that it's either going to be by Chief Justice, not Chief Justice, but Justice Clarence Thomas from the Supreme Court, or by General Mike Flynn. We heard it would be announced to us by 1 or 2 of those guys. Alright, let's see what else. Okay, alright, what about the new USN currency, or USN or US new notes? Meaning our United States Treasury note is the physical put it in your pocket money. But the USN is the designation for the screen that is used for trading Forex and on banks. So the USN is supposed to be announced or not announced. It may not even be announced, but it's supposed to be coming out around Monday. Okay? Around Monday. Now, I hope it gets announced as an asset-backed currency. It may not be announced as a gold-backed currency, even though it is partially backed by gold, majority backed by gold. Look forward to that. Starting this Monday. Nosara and Gesera. The R&R is part of Nosara for us. That's part of it. So we should be getting some kind of NESARA announcement starting Monday. Let's talk about the medbeds. If you are a ZIM holder, and you have a dire health need, and you have projects you are moving up to the front of the line because medbeds are supposed to roll out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 19th, 20th or 21st of August. So we're looking good on that to happen in the first 3 days of next week, and they are going to give precedence to those of dire need who are ZIM holders. So that's really big and very important for us. Let's talk about when you go in for your exchange appointments, change currency and or to redeem ZIM. You mention to them that you have a need for the medbed. In my case, it's pretty obvious. But it may not be obvious. You may have medical issues or something that you're going to have to bring up to them in person, and they will enter some keystrokes to say that you are a medbed candidate. Okay. This is something that we need to be aware of, whether it's for us or our spouse, or whether it's for somebody that might be of dire need. But realize that those that are ZIM holders, and because they want us to be around for 100,200 plus years to see fruition come through for our projects, and want to see if we can be there a couple 100 more years, and we're going to get age regress approximately 40 years from where you are, okay? So if Bob is 68, he would go back to 28 when he goes in, and so on. So this is really important step that we're going to make to get age regressed as we move into more of a youthful time now. We retain the wisdom that we've gained over 60 or 70 or 80 years. We retain that, but we're going to be biologically younger, physically younger. Biologically, we've got a new age. We're still 65,568, 70, whatever it is, but we will feel and look much younger. 40 years younger. Alright, so that's a terrific blessing, right there. Now, what else is happening as far as the new currencies? The USN is supposed to be out on Forex and tradable on bank screens starting Sunday night. Now, nobody's going to see it Sunday night unless they're in the bank, but starting Sunday night, we're going to see the USN on Forex and in the bank screens, which would be they would see it Monday, this coming Sunday and Monday. When do we get notified? The latest information has been all over the place and all over the place. But I can tell you the latest information that I believe is reliable is saying we will receive notifications sometime Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, alright? So let's say the 19th is Monday. That would be the 20th, okay? And that would be great. We should get notified by the Wells Fargo emails coming out of Atlanta servers. We should be getting that on Tuesday. Then we probably will be setting our appointments, more than likely, for Wednesday, with some possibility of Tuesday afternoon, evening, some possibility of that. There's about one more thing I think I wanted to cover, that is, once we're notified with that, we set our appointments. And we can go in for our appointment 3 hours after our appointment time is set. So let's say we were able to get notification at noon. For example, only for example, we would be able to exchange beginning at 3 p.m. Now, the only other thing that I think that's important here is that redemption centers are getting. Redemption centers leaders will be emailed the information as to when they're coming out. They'll get that information. The head person will get that information on Sunday afternoon. He or she will send that out either Monday morning, Monday afternoon or Monday evening. But the instructions should say, but I don't know for a fact that the latest information says that we will get our notifications, our emails on Tuesday, alright. And that would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That would be what 20th, 21st, 22, I believe is Tuesday. No, it's not hold on Monday, 19th, so Tuesday would be the 20th. That's right, I got to keep this calendar in my head, you guys. And that's where it is to my head only. And our new USA coming out. I think if I was clear enough and bringing all this to you, and you were good at taking notes, if you want to go back over and listen to the replay to get these dates what we're talking about, you can do that. I'm not sure about Social Security increases. I've heard that we're going to get an 80% increase in Social Security, and I'm not sure if it doesn't start around the 20th or 21st of this month. And I hate to say some people that are right there on the edge of that Wednesday could get it, or maybe not this month. For next month, we'll see. Let's see how they do it. These are already halfway through the month, first 2 weeks. First Wednesdays will not see it, but the third and fourth Wednesday recipients of Social Security may see the increase. May see it this month, and it should be about an 80% increase over what you're currently receiving. And there's nothing you have to do for that, and you'll just receive it in your bank account, or you normally receive your Social Security. Alright, guys, I don't know that there's anything else that I received that I need to cover. I can't think of anything I didn't cover that I meant to cover. Alright, let's do this. Let's go ahead and pray the call out. We'll go stop the recording. Well, everybody, have a great weekend to Monday. Now, bless you all. Let's turn off the recording. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon.